Get a 70 flip on something.
You live on Penn, try it again.
Yeah, I missed the 79 on there. All week though.
Sure, your power
You
strip
got
is
power
on.
strips and other strips. They're ready.
Where the goals was.
T-call.
Six.
So many buses, like valley buses. Nobody drove it.
Right there.
Yeah.
They're
It's not good to let them fit.
always looking for people.
Every time we use it, you have to make it something. So there's the race buses from the two, so like.
Oh, what's the one?
Push the button and that was it.
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
Interesting, like, 23 to come from.
Nice 40.
Wait, for it to have a while.
Pretty cool.
I know we're at something.
It's all this.
Yeah, you're all.
You can call the meeting to order. I'm gonna work on this.
Okay, at this time.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, let the minutes show all members of the council are present.
Need a hot moment. All right, so as of right now, we have nobody online, but I'm just let it.
Want to go find out from.
Start that thing.
Got started, computers, Al's good. We are ready to roll.
Reports, borough manager.
Yeah. All right, so first and foremost, I just want to let everybody know that Fran did set up speed limit signs on Terrace Circle for 15 miles per hour. They are 25 in parts and 15 in parts. The signs are up, but they're not enforceable yet. Fran and I had a miscommunication, so he stuck them up. It's gonna cost money to put them back down. So we're gonna leave them up until we get the proper ordinance, which our solicitor is working on. So as soon as the solicitor has that ordinance done, we will do the public hearing and we will approve that. And then once that takes place, that zone will be enforceable through police citation. But right now, it's not a bad thing to just leave them up in the meantime. It will probably deter people who aren't from the area who are driving through there at really fast speeds. And I think residents already, who live up there, drive at a decent speed. So just correction, I appreciate the kudos on Facebook, but I did want to let everybody know that we're not quite ready just yet. But we will, over the next couple of weeks, have that ready. We just have to follow proper legal procedure, so we will do that. Any questions on that specific item before I move on? Okay. Some other things that we have coming down the pipeline. So the best thing to do when you're having your solicitor write ordinances is to have her do them all at once. Kind of saves on piecemealing things together. So did you still have the alleyway? Probably not for the first meeting in May, but the second meeting in May. I would like to have a very nice handout for everybody with all the feedback that I got from Main Street participants on the parking situation out back. So we'll have a public discussion on that. And then, we'll see which direction council wants to go with the draft ordinance. And of course, again, with that process, it'll be advertising, 2 public hearings, and then a vote adoption. So you're looking probably June, July adoption date for that.
How many responded?
We had 4.
All business owners.
And how many do you think we sent? 16? 16. Yeah, about 16 letters. to business owners. So they are also welcome to send a representative or to send a letter into the public hearings that we will have officially, to be taken into consideration. Any questions on that? Okay. A gentleman was here, and forgive me, I forget his name, but he was here about the side of the building that enroaches upon his backyard where his grandkids play. Fran did go over there and take a look at that. And Chief did find the owner of that building. He is out of New Jersey. So we've been in contact with this individual. He gave us the roundaround a little bit, but we did get a citation out. We did finally find the person responsible. We did ask him to take care of it. He does have a few days to do that. So we're just gonna keep an eye on it. If he does not have it fixed, or at least set to be fixed by the end of next week, I'll have Chief and Fran on that to, take the next steps to kind of make sure that that's a safe area, especially if kids are gonna be over there. Questions on that? Okay. Alrighty. Social media content, so as we go over the next couple of meetings, as you've seen, Facebook still has not let us live stream yet, but we are live streaming through the OWL and through Microsoft Teams, so I will continue to do that. Facebook has been a decent success. We're up to about 300 followers, so hoping that that continues to grow as we continue to produce more content. And then I also did create a YouTube channel specific to the borough where we can archive our, meeting videos in case anyone needs to go back and look at that. Our new secretary is pretty whizzy at the new website, so at some point this summer, I hope to work with her to make that a little bit more user-friendly. I know it's hard to find some things on there right now. Questions on that? Okay, moving forward, just a point. So I know everybody's kind of aware of the manager/secretary transition that took place between, I would say about September, probably last year, leading into my appointment in February. And of course, leading into our new appointment with Jesse. There are some credit card charges that the former secretary made some mistakes on, so they were not captured in our 2025 budget. So we had to capture them in our 2026 budget. I am working with QuickBooks to have hopefully a report for you by next week that everybody can look at. It will be part of the meeting packet. And that's basically, it's gonna show that we're over budget on that line item, but that's just because we can't go back and reconcile the books now, so we have to charge it to this year's account. So moving forward, we're gonna take that into consideration, and just to let taxpayers know where those dollars are coming from. It's not a frivolous expense on our part. It's just us catching up from previous administration from last year. And then also, we do have some capital funding, and over the next couple weeks, hopefully in June, I'm gonna have a presentation for you, a small little handout with some ideas for some capital budgeting items. I know that a couple of organizations have approached us for collaboration. There's a project that the Historical Society is working on right now to do a walkway that leads up through the school, and over, so that kids aren't having to walk on the road all the time. We can take that into consideration, and I'm actually gonna ask Irene to come and do a small presentation for us. We'll have that. And also with that, the fire chiefs have expressed a desire to come and present reports similar to the way that our chief of police or our public works director reports to the public for transparency. So they will be on the agenda next week as a official reporting entity. So you will see that. I'm working with the Ambulance Association to get them to do some reports for us as well. And so we'll move forward with that. Maybe even eventually we could include Parks and Historical Society if they're interested. So just to keep everybody in the loop. Our borough manager is also taking care of our borough manager. Oh gosh, happy Monday. Our borough solicitor is taking care of a few items that are kind of outstanding for us right now. That does include the defamation case. It also includes the issue we have with the alleyway and the deed. She's looking into that right now. So she had to dig into, our former solicitor had some trouble handing over the files. I did get those yesterday. So I do intend to take those files to her physically so she has them. So I do apologize for the holdup on that. It was a file issue, but we do have those files now. And so she can kind of get the documentation that she needs to move forward on that over the next week or so. But other than that, I think that's all for my report, unless members of the public or council have questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, item 3, correspondence.
We have a correspondence from Trout Run Watershed Association, requests for Earth Day, community cleanup. We did have that already, and we did have a truck later in the afternoon go over to assist, so that did already take place.
Okay, citizens input on agenda items, a period of not more than 5 minutes will be allowed per visitor.
Ms. Kim, okay. Yep. Anything from the news? Mr. Schoenfeld, I know you're here for me, but I'm working on it.
Unless you have some news for me.
I can't like talk about the legality of it, but I do apologize for the delay. As you've probably heard me say, we had some issues getting a hold of the files that we didn't have here. We have those in our possession now, and I'm delivering them to our solicitor Stephanie on Wednesday.
Thank you,
So she said it shouldn't take long after that, and we do apologize for the wait.
thank you.
You're welcome. That's all we got.
Item 5, minutes of previous meetings, minutes from the April 6th, 2026 council meeting were distributed before the meeting. Motion to approve the minutes of April 6th, 2026 meeting as presented. Motion made by Ron C, second by Mark. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carries 7-0. Treasurer's report and bills to be paid. Treasurer's report, April 7th through April 19th, 2026. Total revenue, $20,403.21. Motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented. Motion made by Ron C, second by Henry. Ron?
Yes.
Mark?
Yeah.
Harry?
Yes.
Henry?
Yes.
Ron?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Myself, yes, motion carries 7-0. Item B,
If I could jump in really quick,
Go ahead.
I forgot to ask you, since our secretary is relatively new, if we could use first and last names, when we announce ourselves or when we do the roll call. Or call it, right?
all right, a motion to approve the list of bills to be paid in the amount of $33,759.67. The list of bills to be paid was presented, which were distributed prior to the meeting. Yeah, motion made by Mark. Second by Ron Portash. Ron Cadwallader.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik,
Yes.
Perry Scarton,
Yes.
Henry Harrison,
Yes.
Ron Portash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes, motion carries 7-0. Item C, a motion to move the public hearing for fence variances from April 20th, 2026 to May 18th, 2026 council meeting. Motion made by Ron Cadwallader, second by Henry Harrison. Ron Cadwallader,
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik,
Yes.
Perry Scarton,
Yes.
Henry Harrison,
Yes.
Ron Portash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak. Motion carries, yes, 7-0. Not used to that. We're getting there. By that time, we'll be like, okay, we go back to the. Okay, moving this from last meeting due to advertising constraints and legal paperwork, the delay.
Yeah, I'll just,
You wanna-
take over here.
Okay,
So we're gonna just move it. That's a little timeline for everybody, and I'll contact the property owners as well. So we're moving it from the 27th to May 18th. I'll get the first notice, April 30th. We'll get the second notice published on May 7th. We'll post a little packet on each property location by May 11th. And then we'll have the hearing on the 18th. So any questions on that? I do not see any of our fence variance individuals here this evening. They do not have to be here, but I will make sure that they receive this updated information. So that moves us into D.
Okay, fence variance request, public hearing, Billings 904 Gillespie Avenue. Motion to approve the scheduling of a public hearing for May 18th, 2026 at 6 p.m. to be held in the Portage Borough Council chambers. Currently, a 4-foot fence wants to replace an old fence from 1994 to be a 6-foot fence. Need a motion. Motion made by Henry Harrison, second by Ron Fortash. Ron Cadwalder.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Perry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes. Motion carries 7-0. Item E, fence variance, public hearing, Rummel 622 Orchard Street. A motion to approve the scheduling of a public hearing for May 18th, 2026 at 6:15 p.m. to be held in the Portage Borough Council chambers. Need a motion. Motion made by Ron Cadwalder, second by Henry Harrison. Ron Cadwalder.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Perry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes. Motion carries 7-0. Item F, Comcast Cable Franchise Agreement.
So you don't have to, read all of that.
Yeah.
It's been on a couple of different agendas. This is pretty standard housekeeping item. It's just, approving the Comcast agreement, to do utility work on our internet lines in the area. And, we did inquire about the park, but they did turn us down, since it is not a specific borough department. So that's the reason we held off. We investigated it. Unfortunately, they did not want to extend that. So we're just gonna approve it as they had presented it.
Okay, a motion to approve the Comcast franchise agreement that's attached. Motion made by Ron Cadwalder. Second by Mark Slobodnik. Ron Cadwalder.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Perry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes. Motion carried 7-0. Item G, motion Deputy Director of Public Works. Need anything on that?
Just to reiterate that, this is approving the updated job description to the Deputy Director of Public Works. It was just a laborer position, but with Fran retiring in July, we wanted to make sure that we have a good succession plan in place so that, the individual that we're training can kind of transition that smoothly for us and so that you won't see a break in any public services. It is not exempt, so that means it is able to get overtime. It's not salaried, it is an hourly rate. And we are looking forward to having an individual on the team.
Okay, item G, motion Deputy Director of Public Works. A motion to approve the job description for the position of Deputy Director of Public Works as presented. This position is established as a non-exempt role under the FLSA, responsible for assisting the Public Works Director in a daily supervision of laborers, equipment operation, and the maintenance of borough facilities and infrastructure. Need a motion. Motion made by Ron Fortash, second by Henry Harrison. Ron Cadwalder.
I abstain.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Perry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, yes. George Wozniak. Motion carries 6 yes, 1 abstain. Item H, motion, appointment, and compensation for Deputy Director of Public Works.
So it is a motion to appoint Logan Cadwalader to the position of Deputy Director of Public Works. Logan's been serving with us for a while now. He's a young gentleman, he's done some excellent work for the team. He has a CDL and he has a bunch of other skills, like I saw him use the backhoe the other day, very skilled. We are looking forward to having him hopefully transition into the Public Works Director role. And he will be training with Fran till about mid-July, to get him ready for that. And that rate will be $19.50 an hour in the standard 40-hour work week.
You need me to read the motion since you covered it. I guess I could, huh?
Oh, you could just say motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve the appointment and compensation for deputy director to appoint Logan Cadwalder to that position. Motion made by Mark Slobodnik, second by Ron Portash. Ron Cadwalder,
I abstain.
Mark Slobodnik,
Yes.
Harry Starton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Portash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak, yes. Motion carries 6-0, 1 abstain. Okay, item 8, unfinished business.
All right, 8G is the borough building roof. So again, the holdup with the file transfer, we do have those files now. So our new solicitor have reached out to the contractor solicitor, and they are going to be presenting us with some sort of settlement agreement for us to review. So that should be coming. If not for the next meeting, it will be ready for the May 18th meeting. So we'll move forward with that. I have no problems publishing that in the borough packet as well, for anybody to look at and to answer questions. So that will be forthcoming. Letter H, parking behind the borough building. I addressed that a little bit in my borough manager's report. So we are just soliciting feedback. We'll get that together and present it at the next meeting. Johnstown Housing Authority, so I did want to talk about that. Our solicitor did send correspondence to the Housing Authority, noting that we would like to have an updated discussion, and that we would like to revisit the contract since it's been quite a while since we've done water and sewer services as the borough. I just wanted to note, and you can actually look this up in the news, it's pretty public knowledge that there was a similar case with the city of Altoona and their housing authority. So if anybody's interested in taking a look at that, that's pretty close to kind of how we're gonna be looking at the situation.
While we're on them, what about their burned out building down there?
They have not corresponded with me at all. I do believe that the fire chief was trying to get, some correspondence going, but I'm not sure if their solicitor has just said, like, don't say anything to the borough at this time. We're trying to get some answers on some of that, so I apologize, I don't have that answer right now.
Yeah, but sooner or later we'll get it.
Yeah. Eventually. J, hydrant reports from the water authority. So I did ask Chuck to prepare some of those. They have been working really hard on, the main project they have going on right now, but he did say he will probably not have a report for, next week's meeting, but I'm hoping to nudge him a little bit to have something for us for the 18th meeting. So I will keep corresponding with them. And I'm hoping actually that one of the representatives will come and do a small presentation for us on, what they're working on, how we're gonna move forward collectively as a team, and to address, we have been paying our hydrant fees, so how we're gonna be moving forward from there. So stay tuned for the May 18th meeting on that.
Okay, item 9, buildings, facilities, and roads.
So there are no new updates, with the buildings and facilities at the moment. Like I said, we had a file transfer issue. We're working through that. Letter B. Chief did have a stop sign proposal at Lee Street and North Railroad Avenue. That was attached. That will also, of course, have to go through, the ordinance process. And we will probably have to have PennDOT come in and look at that. They will normally do that for free, as long as we don't ask them all the time. So we will get a letter to them, but the information is in the packet for you to kind of take a look at where it's at. And, Chief said they've been patrolling the area for a while. There's a lot of people that speed through there, and, we have a lot of elderly and kids walking that area, so we just want to be safe.
Isn't there a stop sign there?
There's one coming up the hill, but
Yeah,
not one coming out of the junkyard and not one going towards the recycle
We're looking, for a three-way stop there?
wreck. So people who
so
were,
it's like midway through your packet. I apologize, the page is really bad. But yeah, so you have Railroad Street, Lau Street. He wants to put them coming out of the junkyard and then on the side road there. I would pull it up on the screen, but it's a really blurry picture, so your best bet is to look on packet online.
So basically, they're both on, that would be North Railroad Street,
Sorry, Felicia.
coming in towards Stager's Recycling and coming out of Stager, because there's one coming up past, you come past the Historical Society, you can hit that T, there's a stop sign, but there's not one.
Right, so all directions will stop 53.
Correct, and if you ever use that intersection, it's a tight intersection to start with. And people who, mainly who I've seen going through, coming from Main Street now, especially with the construction, a lot of people are using that street. They're coming to that intersection and not really slowing down, and it's a really tight turn, and it's hard to see sometimes.
So we will have to have a public hearing on that so people can come in.
You also might want to look at Cambria Street and Caldwell Avenue. There is a car that parks there. And again, it's very, I don't know who the car belongs to, but it is very tight coming up and down Caldwell Avenue, and I can just imagine what football season will be like.
Is the car parked like in front of somebody's house? Like-
No, it's actually in front of the Cambria Street.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of an odd intersection there, so
That in front of the.
We can have Chief take a look at that.
up. Between Sirens and, I don't know what their name is, to be honest with you, but it's, yeah. If you just look at it,
So it's right where the big tree used to be, where Wally lives in that area.
in that area.
We'll have the guys take a look at that. Thank you. C, I addressed that in my borough manager report. The Terrace Circle speed limit signs. Super excited that they're up. Hopefully they'll be able to act as a deterrent while we're going through the legal ordinance process. So just to reiterate that correction, they are up. We do have the children at play signs up. We did not need an ordinance for that one. We're able to put that up at our discretion, and then we will just move forward with that. So any questions?
Okay, item 10, new business. A, motion to adopt the right to know policy and appoint the right to know officer.
Just briefly on this one, this is just a standard housekeeping item. Every couple of years, the borough should update its right to know policy because the law changes all the time. So you want to make sure that your policies are up to date. And then you also want to make sure that you're appointing the right to know officer. So not every borough manager is a right to know officer. Sometimes it's the secretary, sometimes it's the human resource director. So just catching up on some housekeeping items. We're just going to go ahead and appoint me so I can be official.
Okay, motion to adopt the right to know policy and appoint a right to know officer. A motion to adopt the right to know policy and appoint the borough manager, Michaela Zonfrilli Lang, as the borough's right to know officer. Motion made by Ron Cadwalder, second by Ron Portash. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carries 7-0. Item B, motion to adopt the open public comment, recording, streaming, and visitor participation policy.
I'll just touch on this, in case not everybody had an opportunity to read it. This is pretty standard housekeeping item too, especially with the changing technology. We never used to be able to live stream or record our meetings. So this is to protect citizens and residents who are participating in recording. And it's also to protect the borough as we record and transcribe meetings. So basically that policy just says if we're recording, once we adopt the policy, it will be the policy that we announce that. I didn't do it as formally, but I did say I've started the recording. I'll probably come up with a better line like, welcome to the Borough Council meeting. We are now our recording is in session. And then it also does require members of the audience, if they are recording, they just have to announce themselves and say that they're recording. They're perfectly at will to do that. We can't stop them from recording, but it's just, we need to let people know that they're being recorded. So Any questions on that? Because it was a slightly lengthy policy, a lot of just standard language, so if anyone has questions, that's open.
You need a roll call vote for that or no?
Yes.
Motion to adopt the open public comment, recording, streaming, and visitor participation policy. Motion made by Henry Harrison, second by Ron Fortash. Ron Cadwalder.
Yes.
Mark Slobodnik.
Yes.
Perry Scarton.
Yes.
Henry Harrison.
Yes.
Ron Fortash.
Yes.
Bob Fox.
Yes.
Myself, George Wozniak. Yes, motion carries 7-0. We need a roll call for the item A.
No, that one's over.
Item C, discussion on the capital improvement.
Thanks, I'll jump in before we approve that. So there's a couple different ways that you can monitor finance in government accounting. But basically you end up at the same end goal. One of the things that I noticed about the budget coming in is that we have a capital improvements plan ordinance. But what we don't have in our budget, which normally a lot of boroughs will have, is what I would call like a rainy day fund or a contingency fund, which is usually about 10 to 20% of your overall operating budget. And those funds are usually for if something happens, such as, you know, the former secretary messed up all the bills. So we have to find out how to pay for that. And so normally that would come out of our contingency fund. We do not have one of those. And just doing some research on kind of how money was saved, what Portage has done in the past is you've lumped it all into your capital improvements planning. And that's okay. You know, that's good. That's a good savings plan. We have a decent amount of capital to work with. The only thing is that we don't have a fund to kind of correct things that were, you know, out of our current administration's control. So I do have the solicitor taking a look at our current ordinance. There are special occasions where we can change that to include emergency situations and or special events. So a special event could be, you know, like America's 250th. And if you want to take a small amount to do a parade, or the general rule of thumb is if you're using money or public funds for emergency situations, you hold a public hearing and you can only have 20% of that fund used for those items. So I'm having the solicitor look into that so that we'll be able to balance our books appropriately at the end of the year and also lean into the 2027 budget so that we can just create that line item for the contingency fund instead of having to pull from capital funding. So that's just a transparency item. You didn't do anything wrong with the budget. It's just the way that we've put the funds in there. They're incredibly restrictive. And we should have a rainy day fund. So we're gonna be working on that, and I will keep transparency and reports coming as we move through that process. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, item 11, citizens input on non-agenda items. Period of not more than 5 minutes will be allowed per visitor.
Ms. Kinlan? The news? Yeah, Mr. Schoenfeld?
No.
Okay.
Okay, good of the borough.
I'd like to mention two things. One is the tap, that's traditional anglers. Portage down at the park. For the last 2 weeks, they've been stocking local streams so they're not stocked by the Fish Commission. And I just want to just give them a good job, well done for the local children and stuff that like to fish the local streams. If you go down on 53, down behind the
McDonald's, like McDonald's.
yeah, down behind McDonald's and everything, you'll see younger children and, well, not children, younger kids down there walking with their fishing rods and nets and bait. And that was never done before. And it's just a good thing to see. And I got to give kudos to the officers and the members of the traditional anglers.
And I think they're open certain hours, you can actually get out and feed them,
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
them and stuff.
Yeah, they're open pretty much all day now, now that the weather's changed. And my second thing is on Thursday, we had the, was it Thursday? When did we? Friday, we had the high school kids come down. That was the letter that we saw there from Denny Beck. Organized it and they came down and worked at the park. They worked at Condisco Park. And I'm sure there's no doubt a few other places they went. I'm not real familiar, but they had over 200 high schoolers come down and work for an hour and a half, and we appreciate the efforts that they put in of cleaning up and helping Irene Haschak and they might even went over to the museum. I'm not sure, but I appreciate their efforts and stuff to put in their hours and to make our town a better place.
Thank you. Okay, item 13, adjournment, need a motion to adjourn. Motion made by Ron Cadwalder, second by Ron Fortash. All in favor?
Aye.
Nays, motion carries 7-0. And it is 7:05.
Can't go home this area. All them make me sweep the floor, or clean sinks or something. So this is just for the emails now?
Wait, hold on. Let me.